My presentation is an adaptation of my book chapter, which I look at create a theoretical framework for looking at the dynamics of gender, race, and ethnicity in classroom incivility. But this afternoon, my presentation of incivility is from a multicultural perspective. I'm going to build on Laura and Stacy's presentation by adding a contextual dimension, which means I'll be examining the role of cultural perceptions in shaping classroom dynamics. I will look at culture in respect to understanding who you are as an instructor, where you are within the context of your class, and understanding the social dynamics of the students occupying the space with you. Now, before we go into this great big discussion, let's refer to the diagram on page 14. It's called the diversity wheel. This diagram illustrates that we all have multiple cultural identities, and that these multiple cultural identities are shaped by explicit and implicit cultural messages we receive. They're not equal in power. So let's talk about that. In the center is personality. Personality is the core. It's the sum, in some ways, of all of the other dimensions, but it's essentially what makes you uniquely you. The next dimension is the internal dimension. That's your age, your gender, your race or ethnicity. This is pretty static, although it is somewhat dynamic. And I say that because depending on the social context, will define or can reframe your understanding of self. The next dimension is your external dimension. This is something where we have more control of it, and it's constantly evolving. It's dealing with your geographic location, your marital status, your languages, your educations. Those are changing. As you move to different demographics, you're from the South, you move up north, different social things are happening there. And the fourth organizational dimension is, like I said, organizational, and it takes everything mostly in social context. You have your three dimensions, and then you step into your workplace, and then the culture of your workplace, and how that then shapes you and your sense of cultural identity, and then you in interaction with others. But the important thing to keep in mind is that depending on the social context, one or more of these cultural identities will be more significant or prominent than the other. Well, what it means for you as an instructor is that we need to keep in mind, or who we are and what we do and say have cultural meanings based on cultural experiences. Now, research shows that how instructors present themselves may be the most telling factor, at least in initiating classroom incivility, which makes sense. And that the process of presentation centers on both students and instructor, with each assessing the other in the context of cultural perceptions.